Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. So today, in the spirit of fall and that being just right around the corner, today I'm going to be sharing a tutorial on how to make fabric stuffed pumpkins with your own personalized hand embroidery design on it. And so here's some cute little pumpkins that I have already got around to making and to decorating with my house, and so we're just adding to that collection today. I hope you really enjoy it. I think they're so cute and they make for the perfect decoration, and I just love DIY projects, so I hope you do too. This project is very beginner friendly, as if you already have hand embroidery supplies laying around your house, you likely have probably all the supplies to do this. And if not, it'll just probably take one quick trip to the craft store for some affordable materials. And so let's go ahead and jump right in. So to get started with this project, I've gone ahead and cut out rectangles of fabric. So the red fabric I cut to 6 inches by 12 inches, and this will give a nice well-rounded pumpkin. And then for the yellow fabric, I cut that to 5 by 8 inches, and the goal with that one is to kind of have a skinnier but taller pumpkin. So we'll see how that one turns out. And then I'm simply just going to go ahead and draw the designs that I want on it. So once I've finished embroidering, I have my rectangle here complete. and I'm going to take my needle and thread and go ahead and add a knot at the bottom. I use the quilter's knot here, which I'll link above, and then you'll fold your fabric in half with the correct sides facing each other like so. And then I'm going to take my needle and that thread with the knot on it. The knot will anchor it in place, and I'm going to do the running stitch along this edge. And when I'm stitching this, I'm making sure that I'm going through both the front fabric and the back fabric, because the goal here is to combine these two edges, and so this will turn our rectangle piece of fabric into something more like a tube shape. Once you reach the top, you'll just want to knot that a couple times to make sure that it's secured in place. And then what we're going to do is just kind of twist our fabric, rotate it around, and we're going to do the running stitch around the top opening there. Now the only difference here is we're going to do the running stitch, but we're not going through both pieces of fabric. We're just going around each side by itself, and so once we get to the end, this will allow it to be able to close up more and give us more of that pumpkin shape. And so here I am pulling that in nice and tight, make sure it's good, and then I'm going to knot this a couple of times just to secure that in place so that our pumpkin doesn't open. Cut off your strand of floss, and then here we will turn this inside out so the right pretty side is now showing, and this is where our pumpkin will really begin to take shape. And at this stage I am simply stuffing the pumpkin. So you can use kind of whatever you have on hand. I'm just using some recycled shipping material. You can also use like the batting from the craft store, but I also think it's just a great opportunity to be able to recycle something you have laying around. And now I'm going to thread my needle and do the quilter's knot again to knot the end, because we're going to do the running stitch all the way around the top portion now, and so this will close up the top of our pumpkin to kind of seal it off. And once you get that wrapped all the way around, you'll want to tighten it a little bit, and if any stuffing has come out, go ahead and add some more, and perhaps even add extra stuffing, because you do want something that's nice, full, and plump, or else if you don't fill it all the way, it'll just kind of be saggy and deflated. So we want a very nice stuffed pumpkin, so go ahead and fit as much as you possibly can in there. And once you are content with your stuffing, go ahead and pull that string, and it will act like a drawstring to close up this portion of the pumpkin, and then we'll knot it a couple times at the top. So I just kind of go through the top fabric, like one on each side of where we did the running stitch, to just seal it in place there. And once you have that secured, you'll actually not cut your thread. You'll leave it there, and you're going to wrap the thread around your pumpkin to create our first crease. And once you get to the bottom of the pumpkin, what you can do is you can either knot it again like we just did on top to secure it and make sure it's really nice and tight to create that crease, or you can go ahead and like go down through the fabric on each side of like the running stitch, the little circle that's down there, so just to secure it in place more, and you don't have to tie it in knot, and then you can go ahead and wrap it up around the other side of the pumpkin and just repeat that process of like knotting it whenever your thread runs out, or just going up and down through the fabric to secure it in place and to tighten it. And so anytime I run out of thread, I just have to grab some more thread, but to combat that, you can use a really long piece of thread. I was on the struggle bus of having only a little bit of my DMC ECRU left, and so I was like trying to make this work with the littlest amount of thread. So I recommend using a lot more thread than I am, but as you can see here, I used the quilter's knot to anchor it going down through the fabric, and then I pulled my needle and thread down to create that crease, and now I'm pulling it tight at the base of the pumpkin. Make sure it's nice and tight to create that crease, and then I'm going to go ahead and knot it a couple of times just to keep it in place. And again, you don't have to knot it every single time. Like I could have just gone through the fabric and continued, but you can do whatever you prefer. And now that I have attached that to the fabric at the bottom, I'm going to change directions and pull my thread up to the top and repeat that process of creating a knot or going through my fabric at the top to then secure it in place. So this is just a series of going back and forth and securing it and pulling it tight so that we can make those lovely pumpkin creases. And you can create as many creases or as not many creases as you want. It's totally up to you and your creative freedom to make your pumpkins look however you like. So once you're satisfied with your pumpkin creases, we're going to kind of fluff it back up because it probably got smushed a little bit in that process. Push on the sides of the pumpkin to bring some of the stuffing back to the top, and maybe even help it by pulling the top portions of the pumpkins if it's gotten a little bit stuck there. And so you just kind of want to morph it into the pumpkin shape that you want to have it by helping that, squeezing the edges back to its fluffiness full potential. And once it's all stuffed, it's time to add the stem. So I just went outside and found a couple of sticks in the forest, just looking on the ground, and I found some ones that I thought were the correct size or that would look good with my pumpkins, and so I'm just going to attach these with some hot glue. So you'll just add glue to one end of the stick and then hold it in place for a few seconds just so that it remains in the right spot and doesn't fall over. And then next, to add those little twirly things, I also found these outside. There must be like some sort of vining tree around, and they're perfect for pumpkins because they look like exactly like the little twisty cues, I guess, that are on pumpkins. And so you can just get creative, find something outside, or you can use some wire and wrap it around. But what I'm going to do is find where I like it placed and where it looks best, and then just simply add a little bit more hot glue and glue it on. And there we have it. Our pumpkin is complete. I think they turned out so cute, and so here is my whole pumpkin family, and I'll probably be adding some more to this because I think they look super cute in my house and they're so fun and so easy to make. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and found it helpful and are about to make your home so cute. If you did enjoy this video, would you go ahead and hit that like button to help support me and my channel, and be sure to stay on the lookout for other hand embroidery tutorials. And until next time, my friends, happy stitching.